We are living through the AI revolution. I mean, it promises to change literally everything. But here's the big question. Is this a genuine transformation, or is it just another massive bubble that's about to pop? That's what we're going to figure out.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? We're seeing companies with almost no revenue being valued in the billions, and it's all because they've attached those two little letters, AI, to their name. It feels exactly like a gold rush, where the promise of a future fortune completely overshadows whether or not they're actually making any money today. And we all know how that story usually ends.
So what's really going on here? Are we standing on the edge of a real technological renaissance, or are we just watching a huge, hype-fueled party that's about to come to a screeching halt? All right, let's break it down. To get how we got here, you really only have to look back a few years. I mean, think about it. Not that long ago, AI was basically the stuff of sci-fi movies and super academic papers, kind of locked away in research labs. And then, bam, it felt like everything changed overnight. All of a sudden, AI wasn't this abstract concept anymore. It was a powerful tool right in our hands. A tool that could literally write our emails, help code our websites, and create incredible art from just a single sentence. This huge, sudden leap in what it could do got everyone's attention, especially investors, who started pouring billions into the space, desperately trying to find the next big thing. But what even is a bubble? It's a word we hear thrown around all the time, but what does it really mean when we're talking about a technology that feels as big and powerful as AI? Okay, so put simply, a bubble is what happens when the story about something becomes way more valuable than its actual business. It's that huge kind of dangerous gap between what people are hoping it'll be worth someday and what it's actually worth today. Think about it like this. A new, super trendy restaurant opens up. The hype on social media is insane. It's the hottest ticket in town, but here's the thing. It's not actually making any money. So when investors value it at billions just based on that buzz, that gap between the hype and the empty bank account, that's the bubble. And you know what? This is not a new movie. We have absolutely seen this before. If we want to understand what might happen with AI, we have to look back at the dot-com boom of the late 90s. The parallels are just impossible to ignore. Man, the dot-com era, what a roller coaster. Everybody knew the internet was the future, and fortunes were made and lost practically overnight. But here's the important part. When all the dust settled, the internet was still there, and it was stronger than ever. The bubble bursting didn't kill the technology. It just cleared away all the noise. And when you look back, the difference between who survived and who didn't, well, it's crystal clear. The companies that failed were all sizzle and no stake. They ran on pure hype, burning through cash with no real plan. But the survivors, the Amazons and Googles of the world, they were obsessed with building a real business that created real value. And that's why they didn't just survive the crash, they went on to define the next 2 decades. And that is the crucial lesson for right now. Hype always fades. But real value, that sticks around. A market crash doesn't destroy innovation, it actually reveals it. And that's the lens we need to be using to look at the AI boom today. Okay, so let's bring it back to today. How does this history lesson apply to AI right now? I mean, if we know this pattern, why are we still seeing billions of dollars flooding into AI companies that aren't making a dime? Well, the answer comes down to some really powerful human psychology. It's really this perfect storm of fear and opportunity. First, you have FOMO, that crippling fear of missing out on the next internet. Then there's the winner-takes-all reality of the tech world, where one company can just swallow an entire market. And on top of all that, you've got the tech itself, which, let's be honest, it feels like magic sometimes. So profits are just kind of assumed to show up eventually. But here's the uncomfortable truth. There's a big catch. Creating all that AI magic comes with a staggering price tag. The cost to train and run these massive models on thousands of superpowered chips is just astronomical. And that makes the path to actually making a profit really, really difficult. And this chart right here, this just lays it all bare. For a lot of these companies, they are literally losing money every single time someone uses their product. Just think about that for a second. You could have millions of people using your platform, and you're just digging a deeper financial hole with every single click. That is just not a sustainable way to run a business, period. So this brings us to the billion-dollar question, right? Can these companies turn all of this attention, all these users, into actual sustainable profits? Can they figure out a way to make money before they completely run out of it? Because for a lot of them, the clock is ticking.
So if you're trying to figure out who's going to make it and who's just riding the hype train, it really boils down to asking three very simple, very fundamental questions. Hype can't answer these, but a real business absolutely can. Who pays? Why will they keep paying? And can you do this without losing money forever?
All right, so with all this chaos, all this noise, how are you supposed to think about all this? Whether you're building something, investing, or just trying to get your head around it, how do you separate the signal from the noise? Here's a pretty simple way to think about it. Look, the smart people, the ones who are going to be around in 10 years, they aren't chasing the buzzwords. They're looking for real businesses that are solving real world problems. They're looking for substance over style, for actual paying customers instead of vague promises of future growth. And that's where the real lasting value is always found. At the end of the day, it is so important to remember this. AI is a tool. Yeah, a revolutionary one for sure, but still a tool. The true, lasting value isn't going to come from the tech itself, but from how people use it to build something real. If you focus on that, on solving a real problem, all the noise just kind of fades away. So, let's go back to our original question. Is there an AI bubble? Yeah, probably. In some corners of the market, absolutely. But that does not mean AI isn't the future. An eventual pop won't kill the technology. It will just clear the field for the companies that are actually built to last. It separates the speculators from the true builders. You know, the AI revolution is really just getting started. The hype? It's going to fade. It always does. But the impact is going to be profound and permanent. The real question isn't if AI will change the world, but how. And maybe the most important question of all is, what are you going to build with it?